fucking beard is weird.
You're a poop nose.
You know, I recently just watched and reviewed the Foo Fighters movie Studio 666, and yeah, it had its flaws, but it was enjoyable to watch in places. It felt like the band was having fun, and it was a whole lot of fun to watch because you never thought the Foo Fighters would do this horror comedy type thing. You would never thought they would have made a movie in the first place, but they did, and for what it was, I actually think it turned out quite well. Not the best I've seen, but it really shows that when it's something like this, when it's musicians making this movie just for the fun of it, you can do a good job when you do the right thing, have a story that fits and is easy to follow, you know, and doesn't go too overboard with a lot of things. And then we get MGK with Good Mourning, this, do I even want to call it movie or a train wreck? Because I just feel like I've wasted an hour and a half of my life, and it's an hour and a half that I'm never gonna get back. I heard about this, MGK making this stoner comedy movie, and I thought, you know what? It fits him. I mean, look at him and the people he hangs out with. It's fitting, it suits him well, whatever. But God, I was not expecting it to be this terrible. Like, I was expecting something of the sort. Like, I thought maybe this could be good. You know, he's done the acting thing before. He did a good job as Tommy Lee in The Dirt. He did okay in Bird Box. So maybe, even though him and Maud's son have creative direction of this, maybe this could be something. And my Jesus Christ, I was wrong. I was just... The whole premise of this movie is so stupid. Like I said, at least the Foo Fighters brought this plot to you, where you were interested throughout the whole thing, and you were like, oh my god, by the time it was over. But with this, the plot of the movie is MGK's character, London, wakes up to a text from his girlfriend that says, I hate doing this over the phone, good morning. And she spelled mourning like when someone in your life dies, and you mourn them like that morning, which is leading him to believe that she's broken up with him. And throughout this whole entire movie, he's trying to contact her, he can, and when he does get to contact her, something stupid always happens. Like, there's this one right at the beginning of the movie where she actually answers her phone, he's talking, and he's trying to be like, what did that message mean? And then all of a sudden, Trippie Redd comes out of nowhere and is throwing a water balloon in his face, because London, who I forgot to say, is like a big name actor in this movie. He has a show called Good Mourning that had its season 1 finale, and apparently Trippie Redd hated it so much that he went to his house and threw a water balloon at him, and then everybody just kind of like acted like nothing happened after that. And there's a lot of this in this movie. Like, it's so stupid. It's so weird. There's this scene, they go to his girlfriend's house because, I don't know, they're trying to spy on her or something, figure out what's going on. And one of his friends, one of his goofball friends, I don't even remember the names of his friends because that's how much I gave a shit about this movie. They were probably named after some food because, I mean, Jesus, his girlfriend's name is Apple, his secretary's name, who was played by Dove Cameron, her name was Olive, so yeah, it was probably something stupid like Mango or Orange or something like that this guy was named, and he drops all the urns of his girlfriend's dead family members, and to replace the urns, he has Dove Cameron glue them together because, yeah, that's not noticeable at all, and since the ashes are all over them, they decide to just smoke a whole bunch of weed and keep the ashes.
What?
I don't know about you, but I feel like weed ashes and regular ashes are two different things, and I feel like the smell would definitely give that away. I don't know, I just feel like I don't think it's the same as like regular burning ashes. I mean, it's ashes, but you gotta think with marijuana the ashes would be a little different. I don't know. Again, people hit me with, it's just a movie, but it's a dumb fucking premise. And then, like, she freaks out because someone broke into her house, and then all of a sudden the urns are back, and she just doesn't question it anymore. Like, that really just threw me off. There's one scene in the movie where all of his friends and his secretary are driving in a car, which is like this van almost that has a bunch of dicks drawn on it. I don't know if that's supposed to be funny or if that's an inside joke or what, but I was just like, I don't understand why, as a big name star, you would drive around with a bunch of dicks on your car, but whatever. You know what? If that's what MGK thinks is funny, then it must be good, am I right? The cop ends up finding the car because it's not that hard of a car to miss. It's kind of surprising it took him that long to find that car after they had, realized someone broke into this girl's house and whatnot and looked like they took some stuff. And the cop only arrests 2 people. 2 people out of like the 6 in that car. In a situation like that, everybody in that car would have been taken in. The car would have been impounded, and they all would have been held on bail until further notice. But somehow, some way, Megan Fox's character is able to get them out of jail with no repercussion, and her character's just weird because she's like the token hot lesbian friend, We all know that one person where, like, it's a really hot girl, you're really into her, but you're never going to be with her because she's a lesbian, she likes girls. That's Megan Fox's character in this one. Again, I don't know her name because at this point I just don't give a fuck to remember. Then we got Pete Davidson, who just kind of has 2 scenes and then nothing else, and as funny as he is, he just wasn't funny in this movie. Okay, maybe there was some things, like when he's yelling at the guy that's honking at him because he plays a valet, and he's talking to MGK's character, and this other guy pulls up in this car and he's, honking at him. He's like, stop it, I will fuck your mother. Like, okay, maybe that was funny, but for the most part, Pete Davidson should be funnier than just saying stuff like, I'm gonna fuck your mother, all this kind of stuff. It just was like, really, is this the best we could do here? And I don't know what it is, but Whitney Cummings really likes doing movies like these, I'm telling you what, because she was in Studio 666. She was the woman who lived next door from the house that was trying to help the other Foo Fighters break Dave Grohl out of the curse so they could end up escaping and, getting away, and spoiler alert, they all died. And she's in this movie as friggin' London's agent, and throughout this whole entire movie, she's worried about getting him a role as Batman in the new Batman movie. I shit you not.
The hell are you supposed to be?
I am Wade.
This whole entire movie, it's between, do I keep my love, or do I get $100 million and get to play one of the biggest characters in the world in Batman, which I don't know how he got that through. You'd figure he'd have to go through Warner Brothers and DC for him to even mention Batman's name, but he's MGK. He probably just threw money out there and said, here, just so we can use the name as some sort of joke. And at first they said, oh, getting a part in the Batman movie, and I thought, okay, well maybe he's not playing Batman, maybe he's playing some character, maybe he's playing the Joker. I mean, it's not that I can see it, but I feel like that would be better for him than the Batman. But she was like, no, you're playing Bruce Wayne. And he had said something about he had been practicing this, that, and the other, and I was like, Jesus Christ, he wants to play Batman so bad, like that. It became the whole joke of the movie, and again, it just got so tiresome after so long. And of course, by the end of the movie, he does get the role in Batman. We never see him as Batman, but we get the role. You're led to believe that him and his girlfriend actually got back together, as we do find out later in the movie that the text she sent, the first part where she says, I hate doing this over text, she meant, I really just want to do it, being able to wake up in bed next to you and say, hey, good morning, because I love you that much. And the second part of the text where she spelled morning like, the oh my god, I'm so sad, I lost a family member, that type of morning, was a typo, an autocorrect in her phone, and she actually had no problem with him at all. She had been trying to get a hold of him this whole time, but she ends up finding him with his stalker, which this is another weird thing in the movie. There's a lot of shit and a lot of people introduced in this movie that I think are just kind of like, they try to make them like these memorable characters, but they're just not. All of them are just kind of there and don't do a whole lot of shit aside from maybe some of the people in his friend group. His stalker is this woman who he already has a restraining order against, but she sits outside of his house watching him every day, and there's a scene where he goes to confront Dennis Rodman and his bodyguard punches him in the face.
Fuck you, Dennis Rodman.
You're a poop nose.
It's caught on camera, and before the guy can kick the shit out of him, his stalker comes up, pepper sprays the guy, and she basically kidnaps him. Doesn't really. I mean, she goes, she stitches up the wounds, they have a talk, she takes him home. So it's not like he's holding him hostage or anything, but basically that's kind of, in a way, kidnapping, because, well, she's not allowed to even be near him. She's got a restraining order against her, and yet here she is. Like, somehow she can get that close. I don't know how restraining orders work, but I'm assuming they don't work that way, and you would think that after the 100th time of seeing her across the street in his house, he'd call the police and be like, hey, she's getting, like, a little closer. She shouldn't be this close to me. Like, do something about it. And the more you break your restraining order, I'm pretty sure the longer the jail sentence becomes for you, and the bigger the restraining order becomes. So, again, it's just kind of like there, and then it's never mentioned again, and that's basically it. Or at least so I thought, because the ending of this movie, there's like this twist ending where we find out that London is actually a British actor, and what we were seeing was actually season 2 of his show, is after the reception the first season got, the way it ended, they wanted to do something bigger, something better, and then he just goes off like, this is a stupid way to end a movie and all this. Kind of MGK trying to be meta, but he doesn't realize how stupid this twist is. Like, even M. Night Shyamalan, who's known for some of the worst twists in history, has better twist endings than you. Like, at least his twist endings made me go, whoa, what the fuck? Your twist endings made me go, what the fuck? Why? Like, it just didn't make any sense. You didn't need that at the end of the movie. We were perfectly fine with the ending that you gave, where, oh, you and your girlfriend are texting on the way to meeting each other, and you just so having a head-on collision, and now you're in the hospital, laying next to each other, in hospital beds. She gets to say good morning to you. You know, it's not as you pictured, but, you know, it was cute. It was a cute ending. I'm not going to sit here and say it was the best, but it was a way to end the movie that I thought was a good way to end the movie, and then you go and ruin it with that. And then there's a cameo in this movie that kind of just happens quick. I mean, there's a lot of cameos. Like I said, Trippie Redd kind of shows up a little bit, and that's really all that's there for him. But can we talk about this Avril Lavigne cameo? Like, I saw her in the opening credits, and she's only there in the opening credits because it's Avril Lavigne, and they want people to go, oh, when are we gonna see Avril? Because we find out that, of course, Mod Sun's character, I don't remember his name, fucking stupid-ass douchebag who was just dumb shit, thinks that Avril Lavigne wrote the song Skater Boy about him because he's so obsessed with her, this, that, and the other, which is ironic because in real life, her and Mod Sun are dating, so, you know, it's funny, it's a little nod, haha, but there's a scene where, now, I don't know if this is a drug trip or this was something that actually happened, but they're leaving the hotel that Megan Fox's character is staying at after helping one of their friends get out of this drug kind of coma after they had to snort cocaine to get into this party that they didn't even get into. And as Mod Sun is walking out, he's the last one to walk out, we see Avril Lavigne in that same hotel going to her room. I'm assuming she's in Los Angeles doing a show, or at least that's what we're led to assume here, and that's why she's staying at that hotel. As she goes to open her door, Mod Sun sees her, and then for some reason she just like grabs his face and like makes out with him for like 5 seconds, and then she whispers, I wrote the song Skater Boy about you, and just kind of goes into her room.
See you later.
It's you.
You know I wrote Skater Boy about you.
What?
And again, I don't know if that was something that actually happened in the movie, or that was one of his drug trips. They never insinuate that. Like, how am I supposed to take that? Did this really happen? Did this not happen? There's a lot of things that are like that. There's also a scene where they snort the cocaine and they get into YG's party, and apparently they see Drake with a snake, which I thought Drake was going to show up, the rapper, but no, it's like some lookalike, and he's got this badly CGI'd snake that ends up biting one of the characters and essentially just making him bleed out and die, and I'm like, the fuck? And then you find out they haven't even gotten into the party yet. They've all snorted the cocaine, and each of them are having like the different, I don't even know if you can have a trip off of cocaine, but they're having a different rush from the cocaine, and apparently this guy's rush was imagining that Drake brought a snake to a party, and that snake ended up biting him and killing. Like, it's just weird shit like that where I don't understand how you thought that was clever or how you thought any of this was good. There's also these just bad attempts at these one-liner jokes that don't really hit so well. I found myself giggling at some. I'm not gonna sit here and say I didn't. There was some where I was like, you know what, that's clever. But then there's just some jokes where you're just like, why would you make that joke now? I really don't understand who that joke is for and why you even put it in here in the first place. It's like he was reaching so hard to be like, I'm 31, but I'm still going to try to appeal to my 14, 15-year-old audience that really takes in my pop punk because it's so relatable to them, even though I'm a grown fucking man. But yeah, it just seemed like MGK was trying so hard to make like the next How High or Half Baked or something like that, not realizing that you need somewhat of a plot to get it through. And again, people be like, there is a plot. But I would argue and say that opening plot is probably not even the main plot of the whole movie like it's supposed to be. There's other things that get in the way that kind of take you out of it, and then by the time they bring it back up again, you're like, oh yeah, right, that. Yeah, he's still trying to do that, because so much shit happens. Throughout the hour and 30 minutes, there's just so much shit you have to take in, and you're just like, I don't understand what's going on here. I had to take a break. There was 30 minutes left in the movie, and I said, I'm not going to stop watching it. Like, I'm not going to just end it there because I need to see the end for this review in general. But I just had to, like, stop for, like, an hour and say to myself, alright, you're not ready to go back in there. And don't go back in there until you're ready to go back in. And by the time I was ready to go back in there, I was just worn out. I sat there watching the rest of the movie like this because I was just like, alright, at this point, I just want it over with. I don't really give a fuck how it ends. I really don't want to pay attention because this is just stupid, ridiculous, and I don't even know why this exists. It shouldn't, because, my god, there's talented people here, but, like, why would they agree to do this? And MGK, you've done better as an actor. Take that from me. Someone who doesn't like your music, someone who's just not a big fan of you in general, has actually done a pretty decent job with some of the movies that you've acted in. Now, I'm not going to say it's great, but you've been tolerable. But in this, I get maybe you're trying to play this different version of yourself or someone who's trying to play you, but it's just not working, dude. Every character in this movie is boring. They don't have any personality, and even the ones that do, it's just like that you beat the joke that they're stupid or something into the ground, and it just becomes unfunny by like the 30-minute mark of the movie. It's like, can we think of something else here? All these jokes are the same. They're starting to blend together, and it really has no substance to it whatsoever. So, Good Mourning by MGK and friends, I would stay away from it. I only watched it because someone uploaded it on YouTube and I didn't have to pay to watch it. So I was like, fuck it. You know what? I'll do it. Maybe something will come out of this. And what came out of it was me realizing that I wasted an hour and 30 minutes of my life and that I can't get that back. So don't watch this for your sanity. Please don't. And if you're a fan of MGK, why do you like this movie so much? This movie has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics, but a 72% audience score. And I'm begging you, MGK fans, tell me why. What exactly about this movie makes it so great that you're enjoying it so much? There's some things that you may think to yourself, okay, maybe it's going somewhere, but then it gets thrown so off course and you're just like, alright, any hope I had for it is just died at this point. Like, I can't anymore. I really, really can't. But that's it for me. Stay safe out there, wear your mask, get vaccinated, and I guess I'll catch you all in the next one. Jesus Christ, I can't do this anymore. I can't watch bad movies for the sake of entertainment. I really need to do something different.